Hello, everybody. It's Hot Dog. It's Hot Dog Mike here, the Hog Hound. Today we're doing Nathan's famous dogs. Unfortunately, our grocery store here only has the skinless ones, which does not do Nathan's any justice. But the reason that I like them so much, if you look at the ingredients, beef, water, and then contains 2% or less than. No, no fillers, no byproducts, no artificial flavors or colors, and no corn syrup, which you can tell is a testament to a good hot dog in my mind. Also, if you can't tell, we're just always going to do these things in one take. What you see is what you get. Simple, just like a good hot dog should be. So, for today, we have two with mayonnaise, two with caramelized onions and some stone ground, two just plain, we're going to get our bearings. And then we have two the good old fashioned way with ketchup and mustard. Let's dig in. You know, my first appearance, of course, when cooking the hot dog, we have to get our bearings first. When cooking the hot dog is it just browns up so wonderfully inside the pan. They are juicy. It fills the air with the most delicious all beef smell. Absolutely love it. You know, that is the first step of cooking anything at home, specifically a hot dog. So, the first appearance, they had enough steam coming off of them when I took them out of the pan that it really softens up the bun, which for me is very important. You know, let's dig in. Mmm. That is juicy. That is good. You know, the first thing I noticed is just a little hint of smokiness, and then maybe also a hint of garlic or onion. But as far as that all beef flavor goes, it is just absolutely there. It is perfect. These things are just full of juicy deliciousness. Now, I know this is a little unorthodox, but first things first, I'm going to finish off this dog before we move on to the next one. Part of this goal is to see what condiments work with each dog out there. And then I think with the last plain one, we'll take all the information that we collected, we'll grab something from the fridge and see what pairs with it the best. Who knew that hot dogs were only 3-bite snacks? Also, you'll have to excuse me for eating with my mouth full sometimes. It's very uncouth. The flavor alone, I just absolutely love it. That hits the spot 100%. You know, it kind of reminds you a little bit. I don't know how I would picture a hot dog tasting, right? Nathan's famous, good old fashioned, straight from Coney Island. I hope, but. There's another dog hair in here. You'll have to excuse us. We have a gander of dogs around here. And it's almost impossible to eat a meal without ketchup and mustard. You know, obviously it's old fashioned, it's old faithful, and I try to remain unbiased. At the end of the day, I have grown away from always having. This is serious stuff. Here, just relax your face. I've grown away from having ketchup on my hot dogs. You know, I really love it on potatoes, but over the course of the years, I guess your palate becomes more refined. But I say that my favorite way to have a hot dog is with just mayonnaise, so I don't think anything has been refined over the course of my life. Not a bad way for the Nathans. You know, I would say that the ketchup does complement that beef flavor in there. And I think what we'll try next, speaking of which, is the one with mayonnaise on there. Mm-hmm. Kind of romantic, isn't it? Also, I would like to take a moment to thank my lovely wife for filming this video and supporting all my dreams. Oh. Oh man. There's nothing like whole milk with a hot dog on a Friday night. Alright, and then moving on, we have mayonnaise here. It's one of my favorite condiments to have on a hot dog. It is just super simple. And usually, depending on the dog, you know, the hot dog is not, I know that they're fatty, don't get me wrong, I'm not oblivious to that, but usually they're not too overly fatty to where that mayonnaise on top of it just adds too much. You know, we'll see if it's the same with Nathan's today, but you know, it rings true, I would say. But also on top of that, I think some of that, I don't know if it's a cure flavor or what spice it is, but it conflicts a little bit with the mayonnaise in the first place. Not a bad bet. I would select that over the ketchup and mustard. But if I'm being honest, look, what in tarnation? There's another dog hair in there. I think I would select the plain dog with the bun over the one with the mayonnaise today. But that is still good. That is a great hot dog. I'll wait to give it a rating towards the end. And once again, I'm doing Nathan's a little bit of an injustice. Nathan's are known for that snap from the skin, right? And with these being skinless, it's just not quite the same, but all right. Look at these fancy things. So I did take a little bit of time to caramelize some onions. The reason I'm doing this is because I did not take enough time to caramelize some onions. But upon first appearances, no one will ever know. Let's dig in. Just a little bite. Upon first appearances, the sweetness from the onion mixed with the savoriness from the beef, and then the vinegar flavor from that stone ground mustard hits the spot. This is by far my favorite bite that I've had out of this whole entire plate. Top notch. You know, if I had made any more onions than this, that last hot dog, we would put some on there, but it's a miracle he ever married me in the first place. Oh, that is good. So here we are. Made it through the 4. Caramelized onions are my favorite so far. We're gonna take a second. I'm gonna eat these 3 hot dogs. I know that's a little unorthodox, but that's just the way that it is. You know, I'll collect my thoughts and we'll see what we're gonna put on that very last one before calling the review over, I suppose. Oh, I better save this one. That was just too good. You know, normally what you do is you get the one that you like the least out of the way first. That way you can be progressively happier as you consume your hot dogs. But I don't know. For some reason, this reminds me of elementary school. But I think that's the beauty of a hot dog in the first place, is every single bite comes with a taste of nostalgia. Right? You know, it throws me back to being at the baseball field and getting hot dogs from the concession for $1 a pop. That is good. All right. Bear with me a second. You know, watching me eat these hot dogs, it turns the video more into a mukbang. Is that what they call it? You know, where you just watch someone eat. It's a little unorthodox, but at the same time, there's something beautiful, beautiful about it. But listen, baby, you're gonna make me laugh.
There's another dog. Dog.
We're here. I can't live in these conditions. In these conditions. All right. Where's it at? Oh, you're right. Whose hair is this? And last but not least, Old Faithful. Boy, oh boy. In hindsight, maybe even tomorrow, when I'm just sitting there, I might whip up a pack with some caramelized onions and stone graham. This is so delicious. Maybe turn on Dances with Wolves, you know, on VHS. Just relive the glory days. Mm. Baby, please, I'm recording. Mm-hmm. Mm. Excuse me. Oh, man. That does hit the spot. All right. So, with the last bite of what we had prepared, I'm going to say, and really what I'm craving, all of this is completely subjective. You come to your own opinions, right? Nathan's, it's good old fashioned. You can't go wrong. Best bang for your buck, probably, at least at the grocery store that we have available to us, which is a very, very small grocery store. And what's most important to me is there's no corn syrup in there. You see that all too often, especially with cheaper hot dogs, is they put corn syrup in. And sometimes you can even see it. I've cooked hot dogs before to where when you roll them over in the pan, there's a little bit of like stickiness about it too. It is just not right. For something that is supposed to be pure and simple and kind of a reflection of you know, baseball and American pastimes, that is just not it. Which is ironic, seeing as we live in a state full of corn. All right. Last but not least, what this needs and what I'm craving is something vinegar related, right? But we don't have any relish. We do have some pickles, but I'm not going to take the time to dice that up. So, how about some kimchi and gyoza? Gyoza?
I don't know.
Gyoza? All right, bear with me 1 second. Of course, you can follow me with that camera if you need to, right here. Let me just grab the kimchi, and let me just grab the gyoza. Do you notice that I'm dressed like Kim Possible today? All right, and a fork. There we go. Now this is an unorthodox pairing, but at the end of the day, one of the things that I love about hot dogs so much is you get to pick your bun, you get to pick your frank, and you get to pick your toppings. No matter what you're craving, there is a topping for you. Oh, look at that goodness. Oh, and that kimchi smells good, doesn't it? That smells so good. All right, we'll put that kimchi off to the side, and then a little bit of guiza. Just a slight little drizzle on there, and bottoms up. I was wrong. I should have stuck with something like relish. Absolutely. You know, you want to talk about a fermented vinegary garlic flavor, then that is it. You know, I could see if you were serving a whole slew of hot dogs, just having that as an available topping for the occasional odd duck that comes by. But you know, it was all right. Not a bad way to finish though. Still. Mm-hmm. Mm. And waste not, want not. You have to clean your plate. Okay. Oh, well, baby, should we go and get some dinner? Hot dog Mike out.